Coming to you live from the NorCal studios in Sacramento, California, this is Your Army Now. Hey team, what's going on? Sergeant Major Nelson, Your Army Now. It's Monday. We're back. Back from what? Well, this weekend was First Robotics. First Robotics competition out in UC Davis. And while I didn't go out there, the team has put together some great stuff. I guess we're looking, right, Brendan? We're going to do a show about it later on with all the video they caught. Hey, while I got your attention for this first 6 seconds, I need you to like us on Facebook at Your Army Now. I need you to like us and follow us on Instagram at Your Army Now. Go to our YouTube channel and you can subscribe at Your Army Now. Brendan, what about Twitch? Twitch is Your Army Now too? Yeah. Okay, so Your Army Now, just search it, like it, follow it, share it, use it. Great information that you get, just like we're going to talk about events, right? So this weekend, coming up, the dates will be 28, 29, 30, 29, 30, 31. We got the Golden Knights, United States Army Parachute Team, jumping into Vanden High School in Fairfield, California. So I can't wait to check that out. I'm probably going out to that one. Maybe we'll shoot some video from there, or maybe a live remote. We'll see. Also on Saturday at Travis Air Force Base, they're doing their air show on Saturday, and I believe Sunday too, right? Part of Sunday. And the Golden Knights are jumping in there as well. Let's see what else is going on this weekend. Or coming up. Sierra College in Reno's AO. There's going to be is that in Reno? No, that one's, is it? Yeah. It's right here, right? Here in town, Sacramento area? Okay. I just thought Sierra Nevada, hey, Sierra, whatever. But anyway, that's here. Sierra College, if you go there, you know what I'm talking about, right? And if you don't go there, Google it and you'll know where it is. And there's going to be a career fair in Tracy, California, coming up in April. More details to follow on that. So, since I didn't go to First Robotics, what did I do this weekend? I replaced headlights in my Volkswagen. Not very simple, but they're bright. Now they work, and I don't have to worry about being stopped by the police. And I also raked up my pine cones. Apparently they're falling all over the place right now. Pine cones, and that's it. That was the extent of my week. Isn't that exciting? Ridiculous, right? So since they didn't start my timer, I don't know how long I've talked for. Normally he does like this to wrap it up, or they play the music. Hey, so what's going to be awesome is we're going to go into 68 Whiskey. I did, so that's healthcare specialist, just so you know. If you're into the healthcare professions or that's what you're interested in. A couple weeks ago, I did a dynamic interview with Sergeant Distel out of, what station was that? I'm trying to think. I can't put it together. Turlock Recruiting Station, Turlock, California. Sergeant Distel, female. And we're still in Women's History Month, so that kind of works out too. So anyway, after the break, they're telling me to wrap it up. After the break, we're going to show that interview that I did a couple weeks ago. You're watching and listening and liking and sharing Your Army Now.
When freedom is threatened around the world, when floodwaters rise and wildfires rage, wherever the fight, whoever the enemy, when America needs her best, she sends a soldier. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
Team, what's going on? Sergeant Major Nelson, your Army now. I'm in Turlock, California at the Turlock Recruiting Station with one of our fine recruiters, and we're talking about MOS's, Military Occupational Specialty, your job in the Army. And she is a 68 Whiskey. What does that mean to you? That means healthcare specialist. So if you're interested in the medical field, this is one of those jobs that you could potentially decide to do. So Sergeant Distel, appreciate you. Thanks for sitting with your Army now and being with us. So your Army experience has lasted how long so far?
So I've been in the Army 6 years, Sergeant Major. January was my Army anniversary.
She had her Army anniversary. So get out the birthday cake, the anniversary cake, blow out the candles, 6 years. And the whole time you've been a healthcare specialist. We all have an Army story as to why we joined, what prompted our decision, why we chose the job we chose. So why don't you tell everybody out there kind of a little bit about your Army story?
Okay, so one of the things that first got me interested in the Army was I had a lot of family who served. I had a few cousins and I had an uncle as well who was a U.S. Army Ranger and deployed to Desert Storm. And when I was growing up, he used to talk to me all the time about when I grow up and be a Ranger. Now, I'm by all no means a Ranger, but I did grow up and join the Army.
Sure.
I joined a little bit later than most people do. I was 22. I had tried to do the route that everyone tries to take first. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to work in the medical field. So I was working full-time in a restaurant and going to school full-time at a community college, and I wasn't exactly getting to where I wanted to go. So I started looking into other options that I had seen my family members take.
Excellent. So, that's a tough life, right? Working full-time, trying to go to college. One thing generally ends up suffering, whether you're working so hard to pay for college that you're not paying attention in your classes, or your classes overwhelm you and you have to slow down on working and then get loans and everything else to pay for college. You don't have to do that with the Army, I promise. You can get the best of both worlds. So the healthcare specialist job is an interesting one in that there's kind of two different paths, two different varieties of healthcare specialists experience that you can get. That could be in the hospital and it could be in a field environment, and you really interchange between both so that you learn both sets of skills. What has been your experience so far in these 6 years on the different paths?
So primarily I've worked as a field medic, Sergeant Major. I was at a brigade support battalion with the Roll 2 Field Hospital for my first assignment in Fort Riley. So we did rotate in and out of the clinics, evacuation medics and treatment medics. We would take turns working with the physician's assistant for training purposes. And then our main purpose was when the soldiers were out training in the field, we would set up a hospital out of tents. It would be fully operational. You'd be in the middle of a field in Louisiana, and there we would have internet. We would have full power. I would work in a trauma tent with the other 68 Whiskeys and the medical providers. And then we would have lab techs. We'd have x-ray technicians so that, if someone got injured, we could see the severity of the injury right there on the spot. We would have a behavioral health tent, a physical therapy tent, a dental tent even, a patient hold. So we were a fully operational hospital there. Sometimes even a surgical team would come and they would attach to us just in case.
All right. You heard that? A tent hospital with everything you need. Go to the lab, get your blood drawn, go to the other tent. Now you need immunization. Well, maybe not immunizations in the battlefield. Why would you need immunizations? You probably get those before you go out there. But basically, a whole hospital setup, just like your local hospital, made of tents. Because obviously, team, when we're in the field or we're in a combat situation, we have to have some kind of treatment. And we're not going to pretend that accidents don't happen and people don't get injured in the battlefield. Well, we can't fly them back to Turlock Hospital, right? 5,000 million miles away, or 5,000 miles, however many miles it is, doesn't matter. We can't fly them back. So if we can take them, maybe half a mile down the road where the field hospital is set up, they can take care of all your problems there. Amazing stuff. So we talked a little bit about the education. So you got any desire to expand? You could go into like a PA program we have, or and further that along? Are you satisfied with what you're doing now? What's the future look like?
So I've had a lot of fun as a medic. Once I was done with the field hospital, I got an opportunity to work in combat arms as well. So I was in the field artillery, so I got to see, a different side of my job there as well. But now that I've been in for a little bit of while, for a few years now, I've been serving. I've been working on my degree. I'm almost done with my bachelor's. I should be completed next year. And then I would like to apply to the Army Baylor Physical Therapy Program.
Excellent.
And go through the Army Medical Department to become a physical therapist.
You see that? At a cost of $0, friends. $0. I don't know what it costs to go to physical therapy school. I'm going to check it out, and we're going to go to the whiteboard, and we're going to look at what somebody in this MOS has to pay on the outside if they chose to be a civilian doing this job, vice what they would make in the Army. So we'll do that after. Sergeant Distel, listen, you got 30 seconds. You can advertise anything you want. You can sell yourself. You can sell the Army. Anything you want to tell the world, you tell them in 30 seconds or less.
Roger, sorry, I'm ready. Hello, world. My name is Sergeant Distel. I'm a 68 Whiskey combat medic. I work here at the U.S. Army Turlock Recruiting Station. I've got the best team ever, and I have the best job, 68 Whiskey. Have a good day.
All right. Sergeant Distel, appreciate your time. Team, here it is. This is what you got, 68 Whiskey today. Join me in a few minutes when we go to the whiteboard and we kind of spell this out in dollars and cents. You're listening and watching Your Army Now.
Now, I often tell people that I have three families. I have the one I was born into, the one I married into, and then I have my Army family.
I didn't believe it at first until it happened. My kids got sick and my boss told me, get out of here, go take care of your family.
If you're a new parent, they have new parenting classes.
And you can become a really active participant in those. You immediately meet the other moms and families.
We just try to leave work at work and try to have personal life be personal life.
I'm checking homework, I'm putting laundry in the washing machine because I understand that my roles at home as a mother and a wife are just as important as my roles in my career as a leader.
There's more going on to me than just the Army.
Honestly, my favorite activity is running.
The Army has taught me to work out on a daily basis. It becomes a part of your lifestyle.
You want to get good sleep, you want to get good nutrition, you want to exercise.
Just like any other person outside the military, you want to go on vacation.
See the different parts of the world and the country.
They make it a lot easier, they understand.
Being able to have that balance at home and in personal life is very important to me.
Everybody has to find a personal and professional, life mix.
Pretty much anything that you basically would get in a civilian world, you get it in the Army world.
I mean, the Army has resources for you. You just have to go out there and find them.
Whatever that mission is, we're going to get it accomplished because we're a team.
Team, what's going on? Sergeant Major Nelson, you're back. Your Army Now. At the whiteboard. Whiteboard this way. Kind of like when I say this way when I'm sitting at the desk. So we're talking healthcare specialist. EMT. That's basically your equivalent. So here's what I was able to find out. EMT school is about $3,400 and it's 4 months. No problem. As we go on the whiteboard, that's about $290 a month for school. I'm going to write it all down. Great news, right? Here's the thing. The median income, what I was able to find, $15.38 an hour. So I'm going to write it all up here. That's about $2,460 a month. So let's get to writing. All right. So $2,460 a month. Out of that, we're going to take minus 25% for taxes. And that's going to leave you $1,845 to spend a month. Perfect. Now, we have bills we have to pay. So let's pay some bills, right? So rent is $700 a month, followed by food, which is about $300 a month, average person. Electric bill, somehow we're getting away with $100. I don't know. Mine's $500. Cable, internet, and telephone. we'll say is $150, no problem. Medical insurance, $150. Plus, you got to pay 20% of after the insurance pays. That's a trick they get you. Dental, $50 and about 50% if you get anything done other than a cleaning. And now I told you school, right, was about $3,400 a month. So for the first year, $290 a month is what you're going to pay there. Okay? So your bills add up to $1,740. Pretty awesome, but you're only making $1,845. So we'll say minus $1,845, which is what you're making. So basically you have $105 left over a month. That sounds great, right? Or about $25 a week. Now I'm going to do something special for you here. This is all factored the first year. I just figured the first year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, just for the benefit of the doubt, for you, the first year is paid for, right? School's done. Now you get an extra $290 back because you're not paying for school, right? So now you're up to $395 or about $100 a week. That sounds awesome. Now, if I told you that the soldier, while you're making $2,460 a month, the soldier's only making $1,740. You would say, then hands down, Professor Nelson, your math's not going to work this time because $2,460 is more than $1,740. You're absolutely right, it is. It works out to about $10.88 an hour, which is greater than $15.38. But let's see what happens. So now we're going to come over here, and we've got $1,740 minus 25% in taxes brings us to $1,305. $1,305 is the number we're playing with, kids. Okay? Now, we got rent. Okay, there it's $700. For the soldier, it is $0. We got food. For you as the EMT civilian, $300. For the soldier, $0. Electric. Again, $0. And by the way, 0 cents. Now, phone, cable, internet. Listen, we're not paying that bill for you. So $150. $150. Medical. Nothing. Nothing plus 0%. And dental, 0 and 0%. Oh yeah, school, remember, first year was still 0. So, let's see. When all that's added up, our bills are $100 minus the $1,305, or I'm sorry, 150, right? See, I got the guys got to help me out here because I'm so excited that we only have one bill. It's unbelievable, right? So 150, right, minus the 1305 gives us $1,155 to the good per month. 105 to the good, 1155 to the good. Now, we'll just use some crack math. It's about $300 a week in spending cash. Now, why is that important? Because I let you already assume that school was paid off right here at the end, and you were only getting $100 a week spending money after all the bills were paid off minus school. Here, you had 1155 or about 300 a week from the start. Listen, team, you can do whatever you want. You can be an EMT in the civilian world. It's cool. That's what you have to look forward to. Or you can get the training, the education, the practical experience, go to work in a hospital, an ambulance, or out in the field by joining the Army. And oh, by the way, take care of yourself financially. And then it only gets better year after year after year after year. If you got questions, put them on the links below down there in the comments. By the way, did I mention earlier I need you to like, share, and follow on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel? This is Sergeant Major Nelson. You're listening and watching Your Army Now.
Bandit 3, this is Fox 2-3. Can you see that contact to our front? Man, it's Fox 2-3 out. Mark him with tracer fire.
There are those who choose a different path in life. A path of selflessness, of service. A path that leads to freedom. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
Military Occupational Specialty, Practical Nursing Specialist. As an Army Practical Nursing Specialist, you will have the opportunity to make a direct contribution to improve the well-being of those who are truly in need. You will be providing the highest level of quality medical care to our nation's soldiers, veterans, and their family members, from infants to seniors. Practical nursing specialists serve in a variety of medical treatment facilities throughout the world, or deploy in combat, peacekeeping, or humanitarian operations. This Army career requires individuals who are service-oriented and are willing to learn more about themselves, are exceptional communicators, and have a deep sense of professionalism and compassion while caring for the lives of others. To succeed as an Army Practical Nursing Specialist, you should have an interest in and understanding of chemistry, biology, general science, and algebra. Be action-oriented with a caring temperament and a strong ability to empathize with patients. You should have strong interpersonal skills with the ability to communicate effectively with a high sense of responsibility, attention to detail, and the ability to perform your duties while remaining calm under pressure. Practical Nursing Specialist Advanced Individual Training consists of 51 weeks of intensive classroom, field, and clinical instruction, with testing in 2 distinct phases. After completing Army Basic Combat Training, you will begin Phase 1 of Advanced Individual Training at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Phase 1 consists of an intensive 11-week introductory phase to Army Practical Nursing in both classroom and field settings. In Phase 1, you will receive instruction and testing on basic nursing skills, the duties and responsibilities of practical nurses, basic science for practical nurses, to include the cardiac and pulmonary systems, nutrition, microbiology, pharmacology, physiology, pathophysiology, and field nursing. You will also receive training on computer-based communication and information systems used in Army medical patient care documentation and tracking.
The pace of this course is difficult, to say the least. A lot of civilians go through the same course in 2 years, and we do it in a year. And we do it while also being a soldier. It's the best MOS in the entire Army.
After successfully completing Phase 1, you will relocate to one of 5 Army hospital training sites for 40 weeks of Phase 2 of your training. Phase 2 consists of medical, surgical, didactic, hands-on training and integrated classroom instruction with multiple skills laboratories and testing for each block of instruction, followed by a final graded medical examination. In Phase 2, you will learn how to perform duties such as preventive, therapeutic, emergency, and routine patient care, administering medication prescribed by a physician, assessing the patient's current condition and monitoring changes, obtaining vital signs such as blood pressure, temperature, and weight, cleaning, irrigating, and bandaging wounds, providing immunizations and recording medical history, managing IVs, coordinating patient discharge, supervising nursing assistants, observing fluid and food intake, and the transporting and release of patients. While being supervised and observed by instructors, you will also spend time working directly with hospital staff members in rotations through various patient care areas to include medical surgical, ICU, and OBGYN.
Just remember that at the end of this, you're going to have your license, you're going to be a soldier, you're going to be helping other soldiers and their families, and it's very rewarding.
At the completion of your training, you will be required to pass the Texas Board of Nursing National Clinical Licensure Examination, after which you will be awarded the Military Occupational Specialty Practical Nursing Specialist. As a soldier and licensed practical nurse, you will also have the opportunity to further your military and civilian education with additional specialized training or through college courses, which will help you in your transition from the military to the civilian workforce as a licensed practical nurse. Bringing the gift of care, Military Occupational Specialty, Practical Nursing Specialist.
This course, it sets you up for life. It's a career. You get a license from this job. You're not only getting paid, you're also getting paid to do something that is beneficial to you. It would help you, help others. And I don't know what feeling beats that, helping others.
Interesting, right? Now listen, here's what you got to remember about these jobs in the Army, that one included. You know, you're going to get certifications along the way. The more schooling you do in the Army, the more certifications you get. These are certifications that if you don't get them through experience in the Army, you're going to have to pay for out here on the outside. So just know that. Here's the other thing to remember, and if I recall correctly, Sergeant Distel touched on it. So we talk about there's 150 ways to serve the country, right? Different jobs. Within each of those jobs, we have varying roles and responsibilities. So we call it garrison versus field, right? So when you're not out in the woods, what happens is you have your garrison duties. Now for a medic, that might be working in the hospital where you're taking care of soldiers like me who have the sniffles. And we want to miss PT in the morning, so we come up with the, oh, I'm sick nonsense. And we go get our Z-Pack and we go back and do PT on Tuesday morning. But then there's the field aspect of it, right? You're out in the woods playing war games. Hey, we have to be able to, like she said on the interview, got to be able to set up the tents and the x-ray tent and the MRI tent and the surgery tents and all that. So I can speak a little bit as an MP, same thing. We're in garrison, we're patrolling around, or we're doing traffic accident investigations or SWAT team stuff. But when we go to the field, we have supply route security, convoy security, those kinds of things. So the reason I tell you that, right, is because if you're somewhat of an adventure junkie, but you want to have a skill such as in the healthcare field, you can get the best of both worlds, right? We can train you to be a healthcare specialist, and then when you go to the field, you play the adventure junkie game. It's cool. Hey, so, and oh, by the way, as you saw over there, and I'm pointing this way, but I think on the screen the whiteboard's that way. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the whiteboard is over there to me. And as you saw, it doesn't hurt to be a soldier and make some good money while serving as a healthcare specialist. Talk to your recruiter, go into your recruiting stations, hit us up, message us, DM me on Instagram, Facebook, all those things, right? You like how I threw that in? DM me. I'm talking like you kids. See? Right on. I'm learning stuff. Hey, so the rest of this week, we got some good stuff going on. Interview tomorrow, we're going to do with a future soldier from the Chico recruiting station. Went to Paradise High School. Unreal, right? So That's all we need to say about that. If you're in California, you understand what I'm talking about. We're going to do a whole show, probably Wednesday, Thursday, about FIRST Robotics and STEM. And then Thursday, maybe we'll get into some video game stuff. Sergeant Taylor, if you're listening, Medic Taylor, I am going to reach out to you. We're going to interview you about the esports, talking the video game stuff. And then maybe, just maybe, on Friday, there has been a lot of stuff that we've done, these interviews and whatnot, that have gone wrong. And we have retaped them. Now, unfortunately, when we're live, we can't retape anything. We just roll with it. But the interviews and stuff, been some disasters. So what do? We start them over, whatever. I have the crack team, mainly Sergeant Bennett, putting all this stuff together. And we might just do a complete show of bloopers and fun times. So you get to see how much of an idiot you don't get to see that I am, because I come across as so polished to you as I do now, right? So anyway, again, we're going to like, we're going to share, we're going to follow Instagram, YouTube. Go do it right now. In fact, stop what you're doing. You can watch this later. Go to each of those sites. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe and follow and share on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Get it out to your friends, because not only do you want to be a healthcare specialist, your friends do too. So send it out. So music's getting ready to play. I hear it. Everybody knows I can't do this without the team. Got to thank the team for putting this on. That's Brendan and JB and Dylan and Mark. You know him as Bennett. And I'm Sergeant Major Nelson, and this is your Army.